Good evening, race fans, and welcome to BSTV. Apologies for the late start, due to a number of different issues, including me. We are late to get going tonight. Windows decided to update and rendered the driver for my headset redundant, so I had to get a new driver for the headset and couldn't hear Alan and all that sort of stuff. But we're here now. So BSTV TCR Challenge Cup. It's season 14. It's the first 2 rounds of the season. We are at Oulton Park. It's the island circuit, Alan. It's the one with the tight hairpin that leads you onto the back straight without using the international loop or whatever it's called. It's a great track, this, and it's 24 degrees, so they've got a good amount of grip underneath them. Hope you're looking forward to this, Alan.
They'll need the grip, Pete, because this is a tight circuit, and yeah, it's got that wicked. There isn't an iteration of this circuit that isn't great. They all flow, and yeah, this is a real racer's circuit. It's amazing what the guys pull off out here. We see it time and again, side by side racing, and you think it's impossible in circumstances, but they do it. So hey.
They really do, yeah. It's amazing to watch some of these guys racing. We've also got this chicane, which our now reigning champion, Miguel Freitas, is navigating, whilst dragging his new teammate, which is Jason Landry, in his tow there to try and get him up the standings. They are not the fastest cars on track at the minute, even though we are in qualifying, and we're halfway through it already because we're late to broadcast because of me. Sam Blease is the fastest car on track at the moment in the Elantra. So change of car again for Sam Blease. Obviously trying to win in every single car on the iRacing service, Alan.
Yeah, oh yeah, and quickly, can I just recap and say hello, everybody?
Oh,
and,
yes.
it's great to be back here. Now, Pete's had a really sweaty start to the broadcast. It's been absolutely awful for him. So please be kind and yeah, looking forward to this. And look, Sam in the Elantra. Now, that to me is a fascinating prospect. Because I love that Elantra, and I'm desperate to see how he does in it.
Too right. I think he's won in nearly all the cars now. I don't think I remember him winning in the Elantra, though. It's not in my head. Definitely the Audi. So, yes, we have new people. We've got Jason Landry. We have a new... he races for Impulse, obviously. We've got Austin Knight, who races for Hydra Race Racing Forces. His teammate... obviously, is Alex Savillano Lado, and they are resplendent in their liveries in the Veloster. There's quite a few Velosters, quite a few Hondas, and a few Elantras. No Audis at all, I should point out, including... what do you call it? He's a hardcore German car enthusiast, Stefan Goebel, German himself. Abandoned the Audi and now driving the Civic. The Civic being the car of choice for last season on many tracks.
Wow! Well, oh, that's great. I'm pleased for Stefan. He's stepping out. I'm going to try something different.
Yeah.
Keep his iRacing interesting and alive. I think that's a great choice, actually. A great idea. The Civic did great last season. It turned up trumps in some of the tracks and maybe not so great in the others. But also, welcome to Austin Knight, who is a dear old friend of mine, in fact, from my very early days on iRacing.
Right. Okay, excellent stuff.
Delighted to see him here.
Yeah, good stuff then. We've got somebody else for you to shout for. Carl Hardy is back with us. No paint at the minute. Did he actually send me a paint in the end? I'm trying to find out. No, not yet.
I'm not sure he'll have time, will he?
No, he only signed up today. He did put a paint in, but then I ran a script and it overwrote the paint on the website. So, oopsie. I had to do a lot of manual work to get it back to where it was and didn't manage to get it all there. Matt Flannery is back in, but this time he is in an Elantra, not in a Civic. And also rejoining us is Andrew Littler, and we'll get a paint for him as well before the second race week. We'll do a bit of teething in the first race and then see how it all pans out in the second. Jamie Wilson's also here. He's not on track at the moment. And who is that? David Johansson's back with us as well, Alan.
Oh, no, David's quick, and it might not be the biggest grid in the world, but it's very interesting combinations of drivers out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with a bit more advertising over the coming week, I think we'll attract a couple more people along the way. Let's see what we can achieve. So let's just jump on board with somebody who's likely to finish.
Like that paint, don't you? Look at that.
I know, yeah.
That's lovely.
It is. That SRG paint, Sim Racing Grid paint, is fantastic. Love the purple colour in it. That's for sure. So, we the end of the lap is critical. All these corners, you kind of forge your own momentum round Oulton Park. So we tip in here, go under Westbridge, which is that car lube one there, into Lodge, which is the corner at the end of this straight. You got to be very careful. Second gear in the Veloster. I'm thinking of the Audi. Up and over Deer Leap and then across the main straight. Old Hall corner is the first corner that greets you on the track. take a good amount of curb on the inside. Don't run too wide on the outside. There is a slowdown and an off track out there. Down through Cascades we go. Obviously the shorter track goes straight on there to Foster's. We're going to carry on round Cascades and head up to Island Turn, and we will turn very, very sharply right shortly. Right about here. It's down to first gear and then back on the gas. Whoever that was on the right hand side has just taken away David's toe as he goes up and over the hill, down towards the Foster's chicane. Don't clip the tyres on either side, obviously, because you're going to ruin your car. Through Knickerbrook and then up and over Tower. And that is where we started, and that is a lap. It's a frantic lap at Oulton Park. It's not a wide track. Overtaking is possible, but you've got to be brave.
Yes, and you depending on the other guy, be able to hold his line as well.
Oh yeah, if someone who's sat online is almost impossible to get offline at Oulton Park. It's such a challenge to try and create an opportunity that, you know, it just becomes very difficult. You saw pit lane entry there. It's quite one of the most simple ones, although it's quite a challenge getting down to speed effectively. So let's go and have a look at how we eventually gridded. So your first pole of the season goes to that man again, Miguel Freitas for Impulse Racing. What a fantastic driver he is. And our reigning champion, 126.797. Sam Blees, off second for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. I think he's got the best chance of lifting Miguel off that top spot this season. Jason Landry, behind his teammate, new Canadian driver, Impulse Racing. David Johansson off fourth for Sim Racing Grid. We saw him just now. Fifth is Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result. Jamie Wilson goes off sixth for Team Chimera. Seventh will be Stefan Goebel for VCS Esports. Alex Sevillano Lado goes off in eighth for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Matt Flannery in ninth for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. Austin Knight for Hydro Race Racing Forces goes off 10th. Fiona Siddons goes off 11th for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield. And Andrew Littler brings up the rear of the grid tonight. Although I think there's going to be some good racing back there this season. I honestly do.
Yeah, it's great to see Andy back on the grid, and exciting.
I love this bit of the season right at the very start. Everything's balanced. And we are go for our first race of the season.
I think I was going to enjoy this. It's a cracking circuit. It's a real racer's circuit, and it demands skill.
It really does. And look at that. David Johansson, elbows out on the first lap. And Carl Hardy, both have passed Jason Landry there. Whoa, there's a netcode contact. Quite a bad one. And Carl Hardy's sent off into the wilds.
It looks like his car's okay.
It will be. It was a solid air moment, that one. As Sam Blees, maybe learning lessons from last season, is having a real go here at Miguel, not letting him get anywhere. That Elantra was quick at the end of last season from a standing start, and he's showing its pace here.
Well, you know, Sam's a shrewd dude.
He really is.
He wouldn't pick a car that he didn't think he could be competitive in. That's not to say it's a competitive car. He can make a car competitive.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have a look at that incident with Carl Hardy and Jason again in a minute. But right now, one ex-champion, one current champion at the front of the field, as you probably expect, but, you know. And this is on now. This is definitely... Oh, I thought he was going to go there. I mean, this is a good time to strike. If you've got the tyres underneath you in the Elantra, the Civic, as I understand it, is more difficult to get the tyres up to temperature. Struggled on a few tracks last time, and look at this.
Sam's trying, isn't he?
He's doing more than trying, maybe. It's good round that outside line, though. And Miguel has managed to keep hold of that. What fantastic racing.
Yes, absolutely brilliant, sparkling start to the race. And, it's tongues out and eyeballs to the wheel already.
It really is. There's something going on back here as well. Austin Knight and Stefan Goebel. Stefan giving that position away. Let's go back to the leaders. Up and over Hilltop. Down into Hislops.
Wonderful little chicane.
Yeah.
Got to get the exit right, of course.
Yeah, I just realised I called it
Speed
Foster's
out.
before, but that's the other version.
Getting the speed perfect and coming out on the left, it's dangerous, but you have to carry speed through, otherwise you're dead going up the hill, of course. It's steep.
Really is. There's just no recovering from it either until you get onto the drop on the other side. Right, so in the tow with a good run, pops out, not going to do it this lap. And look at David Johansson here to spoil the party.
Yeah,
Almost
great.
pushing Sam round. This is brilliant, this.
Davey's a quick driver. It's great to see him out there. This really adds spice to the mix to have these quality drivers to be able to have a bit of fun with each other and enjoy the racing together. And, I think we've got racing everywhere tonight. We're going to have, because there's new drivers, there's new people, and everyone's going to be filling each other out. It's going to be, I can taste it already. It's exciting.
Definitely. And Austin on the chart says, how did a Texan get in here? I'm typing, everyone is welcome, even Texans. Right, as we go charging towards Hislops again. So Miguel's not got away in this race at all, which is very reassuring. Certain races last season he was away at the races immediately. Shall we have a quick look at what happened at the start with Carl and Jason? Just making sure that Sam isn't poised to do anything. I've been caught out like that before. Right, so this is Carl Hardy. He gets past Jason, gets pretty much beyond him, and solid air twice.
Oh my word, that was awful.
2 touches of solid air. Do I think there would have been contact anyway? I think possibly, but ultimately it would have not worked out quite like that.
For sure not, and that's unfortunate.
It really is. Hopefully that doesn't put him up. Oh, what's happened to... Hang on a minute.
We've got pit lane trouble here as well.
Yeah, Austin to pit road.
And Andy.
Hey?
Andy's out.
What's going on there? I've not got anything on the event tracker just yet. Austin's rejoining the track. I don't know whether he went out on quali fuel. That's happened before to races. Do you know what? I've got nothing at all on my screens for Andrew Littler. It doesn't even tell me that he's gone into the pits. There's something way back. So let's have a quick look at this. Oh, or maybe not. That's really weird. There's no record of him at all. Oh, and then there was, and then he's gone.
That looks like a bad connection, doesn't it?
It really does. That was just weird. There was just fits and starts of his car reappearing, and then bits of his car flying off. So, real shame for Andy Littler.
Yes, that really looked like a technical issue there. Goodness me.
Well,
we've seen cars blink, but we haven't seen that, have we?
No. I mean, my car used to do that when I had a terrible connection when I was on Virgin. And Jamie Wilson coined the phrase going full Bingham when I just used to disappear forever, reappear 30 feet in the air and slam down on the track. Of course, on my screen, I was just driving normally, if I ever did drive normally, that is. But yeah, that was frantic. And it still says he's in the session. Odd. Right, let's go back live. Yeah, possibly.
He won't quit at the first hurdle, won't Andy?
No, I mean, it does say that he's out, so he must have quit.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. It's odd. Anyway, these front two have legged it.
Yes, they've made the gap, but
It's not a big gap. It's only
Miguel,
0.9 of a second.
yeah, Miguel hasn't managed to get away from Sam, which is very pleasing for Sam, and perhaps not quite so pleasing for Miguel.
Sam was sideways through Lodge there, so...
Well, you know, we know
pushing.
how fast Big Mig is. He's grease lightning, and if he... I don't look at the lap time. So yeah, they're going quick, and I imagine that Miguel's trying to put the pressure on, isn't he?
Yeah. And this is Andrew Littler rejoining. So he is back in the session. I think his internet disconnected. Or he lost contact with the server. One of those two things being true.
Yeah, well, there's Andy. Gutsy driver. Loves his iRacing, and
no, that's good.
Rejoining.
I know, and he joined late notice as well, which I can only respect.
Yeah. Supporting the league.
Yeah.
Supporting his teammate.
And I do need to call out Carl Hardy for that as well, because I don't think was planning on joining this season, but he saw how low this season's turnout was at the point. We've got 12 racing tonight, which is pretty good. Obviously, more is usually better as we focus on Jason Landry, who is closing down David Johansson. He gave that position up right at the start. That's Jamie Wilson there in the background, or foreground, I should say. Now the background. Turning reasonable laps as well.
Yeah, you would think Jamie would be playing a part in this tonight, and because Mr. Landry's an unknown quantity to me, I don't. But you don't get in those team colours unless you're pretty handy in a car.
Definitely. He's one of our North American friends now, so he's Canadian. So I don't know where he's from over there. We'll find out when we interview him. He needs to get himself on a podium, and then he gets a natural pass. Carl Hardy, for being last man standing, he's made his way back through. He's been gifted one from Andrew Littler. He's been gifted another because Austin pitted. He's been past Fiona and Stefan. And now he's already caught up to the back of Matt Flannery's car. So he's absolutely carving his way back through this field. He's quick, isn't he?
He's, well, you know,
pace has improved significantly.
Become quick.
Yeah.
Hasn't he? Before our eyes, over the last few seasons, before our eyes, we've watched Carl Hardy become a very quick driver. And nice to see him, whatever league he's in, whatever car he's driving, he's there qualifying in the top three. Do you know what I mean? It's fantastic.
Yeah.
What's happened with him, and all those years of dedication and hard work and practice.
Look at that, Austin Knight. With a huge amount of overspeed coming out of clearways, and passes Fiona.
Lovely and clean.
Nice and clean, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great to see Carl doing so well and reaping the rewards for his hard work and endeavour. And loyalty to Backfire, because you know the Backfire family matters to all of us.
Oh, definitely. It's a well-respected league, isn't it now? 14 seasons in, Alan. Can you believe it?
Okay. Well, it's a tribute to the quality of the drivers that keeps going.
Oh, definitely. The drivers and the viewers make it everything. Demis Tigchalar on the chat saying, "Go Racing Forces." Must have been too busy in his racing schedule to sign up again this season, but if he's tempted, then by all means sign up. There's always room for some more.
And fine driver as well, as he's demonstrated.
So fantastic driver, unbelievable partner to Freddie Van Eekhoven last season. who also isn't racing this season. They must have other things on their racing calendar. So, what else is going on here? We've got Matt Flannery here, who is getting caught slowly but surely by not just Carl Hardy, but by Stefan Goebel in the background there. He's got it all hooked up now. I don't know whether he struggled with the tyres at the very start, but he is definitely on it. He's one of... and virtually the entire field are doing 127s at the moment. Yeah. Virtually the whole field.
Goodness me. Well, you know.
You can see Carl Hardy's catching Matt Flannery quite quickly now. He took 3/10 out of him in the last lap. Matt Flannery, of course, in a different car this season. He's in the Elantra, so that'll feel a bit strange to him.
Yes, but the Elantra you think would suit this track very well.
Yes.
I think it's a good car for this circuit, sure.
Yep, I'd agree with that. It's got some reasonably long straights for such a small track. And the Elantra has always been very good at acceleration.
And yeah, you need to carry your pace through, don't you, Pete? On these bends, when you're coming out, you do need to carry your pace through. It's important.
Yeah, you lose too much if you overbrake a corner or get crossed up or whatever. As David Johansson putting up the fastest lap of the race, and both positions 2 and 3 are faster than the leader right now. David Johansson's super fast, isn't he? Good grief.
Yes, well, Mr. Landry, all in his 26ers with Sam. Miguel's obviously on his way there. It must be because...
Yeah.
But...
Well, no, but Miguel's getting caught. And speaking of getting caught, so is Matt Flannery at the moment on a recovering... on a recovery drive from Carl Hardy. Demis says he's going to join later on in the season, which is great news.
Yeah.
I did wonder whether other people would slowly join after a time. Some good paint schemes going on again this season. That Racing Forces livery is just excellent. I think it's fantastic.
Me too. It's a proper, really lovely paint job.
Okay.
And I like seeing it on this track. It was represented so well by Demis and Freddie last season.
On those Audis, that was lovely, wasn't it? Yeah.
You know, they drove their team colours proudly, and they gave us plenty to admire and enjoy.
And Jamie Wilson has changed cars. He's in the Veloster. He says he might not get on with it. He's not driven it very much at all, so we'll see where he ends up.
Well, he's taking a plunge, isn't he? He wants to take a plunge into the dark, so good on you, Jamie. And, you know, he's a fabulous driver, so whatever is in that car, he'll find it.
Yeah. Carl Hardy flashing his lights. He knows that's not allowed. He knows it's the worse than some of the highest crimes in humanity. But we'll let him off as soon as he joined the league so late and for such a good reason as well.
He's probably winking at us, actually.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not connected to his eyelids.
Now, he's goodness me. I'm looking at David. He's come
I know.
right into the thick of things, hasn't he?
It's like he's never been out of the car. Do you know what I mean? On the pace immediately. And Carl...
Yeah, really. And what a pace it is, because we know how fast Miguel and Sam are, you know.
Yeah.
If you're going to stick with them, then you've got to be quick. And, he's showing his quality. And Mr. Landry as well.
Whoops.
Yeah. I'm expecting to see great driving from these guys, and they're delivering.
Now, there's two big battles going on, but this one is the most important in theory, because this is for the lead. Sam Blees has hacked that little lead that Miguel had down to 0.3 of a second. Ooh, I've got a switch between that and this at the moment, which is Carl Hardy and Matt Flannery. Matt Flannery is kind of getting away from him a little.
It's an interesting battle because you know, these are both drivers that have improved in the last few seasons. Matt has, and so's Carl.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a bit of an unknown quantity between them now.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I would have always fancied Carl's chances in a battle between these two. But, Matt's improved so much.
I know.
That's what happens when people join this league, Pete.
Yeah, lots of people learn a lot of racecraft from driving around these guys. And of course, with the addition of Miguel last season and Demis and Freddie, everybody has that opportunity to watch the lines of the car in front. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Where does that person brake? Where do they tip in? How much steering lock do they put in? How are they managing to carry speed like that through a corner? And they will watch bits of replays and things, and that's part of the game, isn't it? It happens in real life, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Analysing your opponents. People pay guys to do that for them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because they're too busy sipping champagne and driving Ferraris, whereas these guys, they'll be watching on boards, watching VRS data, all that sort of stuff will be going on. And it's healthy, especially around a technical track like Oulton Park. You've got to look at it and think, well, how did let's have a look. How did David Johansson just do a lap, almost identical to the race leader? Here we go. It's on. This is a drag race.
Well,
it was.
This circuit's famous for this stuff, isn't it? The
Yeah.
side-by-side racing, because it's inevitable, because these cars are so closely matched. When you're going to overtake somebody, it takes a bit of time quite often, especially coming out on one of these slow corners. And saying you're side-by-side for quite a while on this really quite challenging, narrow track. And
yeah. And we've got a white flag already, Alan.
Oh, my word, you're joking.
No.
Oh, well.
Oh, and Carl Hardy making a real issue of this again. Around the outside, you can do it here. It's Lodge Corner. That's lovely.
He got on the grass. Oh, look at that.
10 out of 10.
Wow.
Nothing that Matt Flannery can do about something like that. And I think they swapped positions about 3 times. So this was built up all the way back here from. Right, okay. So that was where we saw them together here. No, we're gonna have to watch that later. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to that because we're gonna miss too much other stuff. So David Johansson is getting caught by Jason Landry. This is the last lap. So whether Jason can do anything about David, I don't know. I'm amazed at David's pace. That's so rapid.
Well, we know he's quick, and it always has been fast. But to step into these shoes and go like this so well is absolutely brilliant performance by him.
Yeah, and Jason Landry's just found the loud pedal. He's just on the fastest lap of the race.
Well,
Miguel takes the victory. Yeah, Miguel's victory there. Sam Blease gave him a massive run for his money.
Fantastic. Well, they would have loved that, the pair of them. That was fantastic. Absolute top quality driving, top quality racing by the pair of them. And throughout the field, I think nearly everybody's had something to race and enjoy because, wow. The thing about this track, Pete, it holds drivers together. It's one of those tracks where you can just hang on. You can. And there's enough corners that with a bit of suicidal braking, you can make up.
Yeah.
In the shadow. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love this race. It makes great racing, and I'm looking forward to the main event.
Yeah, I know. So Andy Littler over the line. He managed to rejoin, and he's got points.
Yes.
And with the grid size that we've got, they're good points.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, under the minute and a half.
So let me talk us through the results from our first race. of this season, if it ever pops up. It did this to me the other night as well. There we go.
Right.
I was just a bit too eager on the V8 one. Anyway, right, so Miguel Freitas took the victory in the first race of this season 14 of the TCR Challenge Cup, defending his title for Impulse Racing. Sam Blease goes off. Sorry, I'm not doing the grid. I'm doing the results. Sam Blease finished second for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing with David Johansson, a super rapid third. Gets himself a podium straight away for Sim Racing Grid. Jason Landry just outside the podium positions there in fourth for Impulse Racing. Jamie Wilson nearly did it again for Team Chimera, came home fifth. Sixth was Alex Sevillano Ledo for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Seventh was Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result. Matt Flannery was eighth for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. Ninth was Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports. Austin Knight finished 10th for Hydro Race Racing Forces after an impromptu visit to the pits for probably more fuel. 11th was Fiona Siddons for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield. And Andrew Littler after a terrible disconnection and it looked like it absolutely mullered his car. Finished 12th. Let's hope he has better fortunes in the second of tonight's races, Alan.
Yes, but turned up and still finished the race. And, look at the times. Fiona was less than a minute off Miguel. And that's fine driving. If you can do a whole race and finish in a minute of Miguel Freitas, you're doing okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't finish on the same day as Miguel Freitas.
Well, it just goes to show you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How good he is and how good you need to be to actually stay with the guy. Because I know that Fiona's quick because she made me look slow last night. That's for sure.
Right. Okay. What were you doing last night? Was it MX5s?
MX5s.
Yeah.
First night at the field. Yeah. There we were. Motegi, slippery.
I like Motegi. Yeah,
I
Motegi's nice.
I spent a lot of time going around in circles.
And Fiona's just said on the chat that's with putting it in the barriers as well. Oh dear, that's funny. Oh dear. Oh. That's the alternative route for Austin. We'll have to get a chat with some of these guys after this. Hopefully they've all got time afterwards to have a chat with us, because it's always good to speak to the racers, find out their perspective on how they thought they went and things. So for anybody new to the series, if they happen to be watching, don't forget to give us a like, of course. It's a 20-minute race, sprint race, followed by a 5-minute warm-up session for the feature race. The cars are restricted to 35% fuel in their tanks, which means that a pit stop in race 2 is pretty much mandatory. However, we had 2 occasions last season, didn't we, Alan, of Sam Blease doing a no-stopper. One was under a yellow, so fair enough, and he was the only one brave enough to attempt it, and he did all right with it, but he didn't win. And then he did it again at the end of the season, if you remember.
Yes, I'm going to forget something like that.
No way. I mean, that was epic. I mean, good grief. So we're hoping for more hijinks and drama, and I'm pretty sure we'll get it as Austin tries to put in some good sighting laps ready for this this next race. What's the weather doing? Let's have a look at the weather. Track temperature is still a steady 24 degrees. So yes, we are. Is there much wind? There's not much wind though. So humidity at half, which shouldn't affect the cars too much.
No.
Excuse me.
Look at this is. It just shows you these guys. These are quick drivers.
My God! I've just seen Jason Landry's iRating. Oh my giddy aunt. Fancy any guesses, Alan?
Well, you're going gasp, so something over 6,000.
Yeah. It's actually something over 7,000.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable. I mean, my highest I rating ever, not that I'm any good, was 2,500 and something.
Right.
And I'm at 2,300 and something at the
I'm going
minute.
to say 7,000. Very, very
That's
impressive.
just
Very
unreal.
cool.
So Andrew Littler will be our pole man, of course, because it's a reverse 12. No pressure there. For Spiro by result. I'm just going to run through them because we don't get the time in this one. Fiona goes off second. Austin Knight goes off third. Fourth will be Stefan. Fifth will be Matt Flannery. Carl will go off sixth. Alex off seventh. Jamie off eighth. Jason Landry off ninth. And we're going racing, so we'll have to come back to that. Everybody else was behind them. And we are go. Andy Littler got a good start there. That was nice. He's got... Who's that behind him? Austin Knight. We're going to bunch up here, though. And
he's a good starter these days, and he can make his car wide. He can.
This is going to be either a great race or a messy race. Oh, there's a bit of elbows out at the front. Oh, and is that Fiona off?
That's feet.
Yeah, no impact with any furniture though.
No.
So we'll have a look at that later.
Unfortunate, so early to lose you. She would have been looking forward to hanging on a bit, I think.
She's still there. She's not that far behind. Just in the background.
Yeah. Well, let's hope she can catch up. It's a tough one though now.
Right, so big charge down to Hislops on lap one. And Jason Landry already moved a little forward. Sam Blees moved a lot forward. 2 places for Sam Blees. 5 places already for Alex Lado. I wonder if he was instrumental in what happened with Fiona, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. He's looking to get away here, and he's moving very rapidly as Jason Landry and Sam Blees go at it.
They're not hanging around, are they?
No, and Jamie Wilson's thinking, do I swing or sway? I don't really know at the moment. Challenge for the lead. Oh, he's not going to manage it, though. Andy Littler's done well here. That's a sneaky bit of driving from Andy Littler, I have to say.
He's his lap, and he's led a lap. That's absolutely brilliant for Andy. Absolutely brilliant. Come on, matey.
Good effort. Right, then. Podium position for him next, then, is it? He's just lost the lead. He's just lost the lead round Cascades, and he's being drafted here.
To get back in, yeah.
Yeah. Carl Hardy, like a rat up a drain pipe. And he's side by side with Austin now. There's Andy Littler, and we're going side by side ahead with Carl Hardy nearly.
Oh, goodness me, is this tense? Look at that. Oh, goodness.
2 into 1 really does go when you're as good as these guys. Right, Andy Littler, when are you going to turn in? A bit late, and that's given David Johansson a little bit of a scare, actually, because there was a bit of a twitch from David's car. He's round the outside there of Andy Littler, and it's still all bunched up back here. Look at the state of this.
What a start to this race.
It's unreal, isn't it? Who said you can't get good racing out of 12 cars?
This is like the sprint.
I know. So... Jamie Wilson. Well out on the grass. So he came off definitely second best in that one. Carl Hardy gets the fastest lap of the race, which is... Oh, yeah, it is faster than the first lap. I was thinking it was slower for a minute with all the shenanigans that's been going on.
Now, presumably, they've got the same new improved traction grass here.
I think so, yes, which I think is why we didn't see anybody hit the walls.
Yes, it's really made a big difference to the cars.
It has.
It's recovering, off-track moments. It really has. It's been very helpful, I've found.
Andy Littler, I don't know what he's been eating, but it's doing well for him. He's fighting each one of these. It's great.
Yeah, no, he's taking a New Year's resolution to fight.
Oh, look at that. Masterful on the brakes. That's excellent stuff. Ooh, a bit slidey going through the second half of his laps, but he's ahead at Knickerbrook, and oh, dearie me, that was Stefan getting a bit wild. I don't know whether he got a bit wild with a bit of solid air from Jamie's car, though.
Oh.
Round the outside for Jamie. He's done that. That's nice.
Yeah. Andy saw him and did the right thing. Beautiful, beautiful driving by the pair of them.
Yeah, very much so. So the oh dear, I'm tired. Miguel Freitas is the car at the back of this little trio, and they're both this trio is chasing these two Hydra Racing Forces cars. Austin Knight is the one in front, and Alex Sablano Ledo is the one behind it at the moment. Anyway, it's all still kicking off back here though. That is Stefan getting past Andy Littler just about. He's got some beans in that car, hasn't he, Andy Littler, this time? This is really good. Ooh, and then that is Alex Lado getting around his own teammate. And then everybody's concertinaed up, and there was definite contact there between Jason and Sam. And they go side by side here towards Knickerbrook. Now, can Sam outbrake? No, he's not gonna chance that. Sorry, not Knickerbrook, Hislops. Oh, Sam. Oh, he's recovered that excellent well. That was
fantastic save there.
Great save. Yeah, absolutely stunning. Oh, and here we go. This is Matt Flannery.
Waging war with Andy.
Yeah.
Who is, a much improved driver in the last 6 months, let me tell you.
You're not kidding. I mean, there was a time he would have pulled out of the way and let the whole field just go. And no such thing now. He's been clean and tidy with it, in my opinion.
Yes,
that's been nice. That.
He's got that extra bit of pace. He used to be there with me at the back, but he's not anymore. He's found that bit of pace and he runs with the field now. So that's given him the confidence to have a go. And more power to his elbow. It's great to see.
Yeah, too right. And he's side by side here with Matt Flannery. He's going to tip it into Cascades in a second. And he's going to come out on top here. Oh, no, he's not. He's got a massive amount of oversteer. Didn't hit anything.
Well,
now he's after Fiona.
This is what happens when you're driving right on the edge, and Andy is driving right on the edge.
Yeah.
And
lots of lessons to learn from all of that. But he's done really... Oh, gosh. Wait, who did Sam Blease hit so hard that he's lost the front of his car?
Oh.
I've got nothing on... That wasn't off the last time we looked at his car, was it?
No, I don't think so. I think we would have noticed half his car missing.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. That's Miguel Freitas. Multi-21 in his teammate.
Wow.
Actually, if you look at the back of Landry's car, that is properly smashed on the right-hand side. I think that is from that concertina at Island Turn before.
Right.
We just... because we were...
It's been pretty close quarters, Pete, hasn't it?
Understatement from the century from Mr. Toon. What are you drinking, by the way?
Oh, I'm drinking that... beautiful bottle of scotch sent to me by Backfire in the persona of our Pete.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Excellent
Single
stuff.
malt whiskey.
Good.
And it's Tamnavulin, and it's the red wine cask.
Excellent. Sounds like a good one.
It is very, very nice. Thank you.
Cool. So our first visitor to pit road was Sam Blease. He's used his fast repair to repair that damage. Got himself some go-go juice, and then set off again. So excellent.
After 6 laps.
Well, we saw it before with him,
He's a magician. So I doubt he'll see the pit lane again before the end of the race. The way he drives, he's just...
Oh, no way. Yeah.
He just drives on air. I have no idea how he does it.
Yeah, the only reason that stacked up was because the two Hydra Racing Forces cars did a multi-21 themselves. And there was no room for Jason Landry, who is still out on track, albeit sporting a smashed-in rear bumper. There it is. Well, there it was.
You can take comfort in his 7,000 iRacing points and the fact that he must be incredibly fast and talented driver.
Without a doubt, yeah. My eyes were
How
on
great is
stalks when
that?
I saw that. That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I
how
mean,
fantastic to have drivers of that quality in the league, man. I think that's
yeah.
fantastic.
We've had a few 6,000 IR drivers, Miguel being one of them. We've had some 5,000s, like Gary, for instance, etc.
Yeah.
We've got a load of 4,000s in the form of Alex Lado. Sam Blees, of course, is a 5K driver as well. And then even more 3s and 2s. So David Johansson sets off after Carl Hardy, who's got a masterful lead of 4.15 seconds.
Yes, I'm just wondering how he's managed to do that exactly.
Well, there's been a lot going on behind him.
There has been a lot going on behind him, but David's been very quick, hasn't he? He's so Carl must have wings.
Well, I think Carl made it his goal to get past everybody in front of him as fast as he could, and he did it by about turn 2. And he's had clear track after that, so he's just head down, bum up, and away he went.
Yeah, and with his pace these days, that is effective.
Yes, I think he's. Has he still got fastest lap? Let's have a quick look. He did have before this lap, I think. Yes, he's still got it.
Done it again. I think he's just done a fresh one.
Yeah. Oh,
27.6.
What the hell? Jamie Wilson, fastest lap. What?
Yay!
And Miguel Freitas in the pits. He's trying to counter Sam Blees. Where is Sam Blees? Sam Blees is on the start-finish straight. Now, pit lane exit is massive.
Oh, this is close.
This is very close. Pit lane exit is huge here. And Sam's going to have a good run. He's going to have a good run. He's going to get alongside at the very least.
Miguel's got the cold tyres, surely.
Well, he won't. He'll have the same tyres.
Cooler,
yeah, because he's not been racing on them. And that's Sam Blees getting that done. That's excellent.
Oh, goodness me.
Reigning champion and ex-champion, ex-multiple champion, Sam Blees.
Wasn't there room there for majestic error?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But, again, what's Jamie Wilson eating? Fastest lap, what,
That doesn't surprise me because, I would have said this was Jamie's kind of track.
Yeah, he does love the British twisty touring car style tracks.
Yes, and I think he's probably looking at the people in this race and thinking, I'm a competitive driver in this field, and I'm going to go and fly my flag.
Yeah, absolutely. David Johansson into the pits.
With this awesome paint job, that's got to be worth 5 miles an hour.
Yeah. That's funny. Jason Landry not bothered at all about the damage on the back of that car. It mustn't be affecting him one iota. Austin Knight is now behind him.
Yeah, good driving by Austin. This is.
Right.
Look at this. What a showing in his first race. Fantastic running for.
I know. And he's keeping pace. He had to pit in the first race, if you remember.
Yeah.
And this was how Jason Landry overtook him. Late on the brakes, into Lodge.
Oh, sweet.
All ticked. All boxes ticked.
Absolutely sweet. I'm loving the way these fields staying together and staying tight and.
Oh, look at that, Miguel.
Oh, now. That's going to cost him. It
really will. Quite a lot, I would think. He's got off the track for David, so that's very nice. He didn't have to do that. He's trying to burn off a slowdown, and he knew that he was going to be a rolling roadblock there. So that's very respectful driving, I'd say.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. That strikes me as the kind of driver he is. When you're as good as Miguel, being a gentleman is a very fine thing, and he is a gentleman.
Yes. I think he was still burning it off right the way to the end of that straight. Because I think he'll have ended up with something like a 3-second slowdown or something ridiculous.
Yes.
iRacing comes out with some really funky numbers sometimes. Right,
Yeah,
Jamie Wilson.
No logic to any of it, Peter.
I don't
Worry.
think there is. I just think that it throws bones onto the table at the start of every race and then decides what it wants to do. The bones tell it 6 seconds, but
Get them lucky bones.
I know. I've never found the lucky ones, that's for sure.
You need to get a mojo hand, my friend.
I know. I've been off track a lot, and I've spent like 4 seconds trying to get back on the track, and then I've got a 1 second slowdown. You're like, hang on a minute, that's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Have I not been punished enough already by my own lack of talent?
Yeah. Well, at least with the new friction grass, you're going to be fine getting back on the track.
Yeah, I might do better actually driving on the grass, but we'll come back to that another time. Yeah, Austin Knight. He's doing a splendid job.
He really is, and I'm absolutely delighted to see him here. I'm delighted to see him driving so well. That's grand. He's clearly another improved driver.
Yes.
Because
I don't know where he's been racing, but he's been doing it very well. So.
He does commentary and kind of stuff like that. He's involved in the media side of iRacing and stuff. He does commentary with Apex, I think it is.
Right, lovely.
So, in the American, so NASCAR, I suspect, and all that.
Yeah. I mean, we used to use Apex for broadcasts when it was the early days of European supercars before V8 ESC took off. So, yeah. A lot of respect for the Apex teams. We wouldn't have the V8 ESC that we've got today without them. Where are we? Where is Andy Littler? So Andy Littler is
there.
He's got the super fast Miguel Freitas behind. Oh, he's got out of the way. He didn't have to do that. He's on the same racing lap technically because he's not pitted yet. But clearly wants no part of that. He did so well in that first couple of 3 laps.
He wouldn't have given up. He wouldn't have given up, let me tell you. And he's still doing really good lap times.
Yeah.
He should be well pleased with his driving and his performance tonight.
Definitely. I mean, that was possibly some of the most exciting racing I've seen in months, just those first 3 laps.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the camera off him. Freddie Van Eekhoven on the chat. Let's go racing forces, yeah. Hopefully
you're going Freddie.
Yeah, hopefully Freddie's going to join us at some point in the season. And then Mark Draper on the chat.
It's great.
I think I don't know who he's talking about there. I don't know how long ago that message was made, but he says he's been going faster than the rest. I think that might have been a shot at me and my whatever I said. I'm not sure. But yeah, it'd be great to have Mark Draper back in this as well. He was fast.
Indeed. Very handsome as well, of course.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, it can't hurt if you're trying to entice somebody back into the league.
Oh, sorry, yeah, he's a complete Adonis, yeah. Good call. So that was Sam Blease passing Fiona.
Yeah, and look, it's with 13 laps in, and Sam's just passed Fiona. So.
We'll not mention any pit stops or anything. And I think Fiona's coming into the pits. No, she's not. She's going again.
Well, she normally hangs out, doesn't it? Because it's in her benefit generally to take the car as long and light as possible.
Yeah. Matt Flannery it was that set off the pit alarm. So he's visiting pit road for his scheduled stop.
Has Andy done his scheduled stop?
I don't think so. No, he's yet to visit pit road. His race at the minute is with Fiona, and I think Fiona's, from what I can see, handling the fast cars, passing her better than he is at the moment. He gave quite a lot of time to Miguel and to Sam Blease. And this is the battle for second place. I can tell you that Carl Hardy has only extended his lead. He was extending his lead over David Johansson originally. He's now extending his lead over Alex Sablano-Lado, who's leading this little pair. And that is Jason Landry with the damage to the back of his car still. Just behind him, and that's third place at the moment. These all owe us pit stops, as does Austin Knight, who is just not that far behind these guys now.
No, if he's got them in sight, that's always encouraging. Al's doing excellent, consistent lap times around where the likes of Alex and Mr. Landry are. Now, that takes some doing.
Yeah, it does. He's just done his fastest lap of this race. His fastest lap, not the fastest lap. The fastest lap at the moment belongs to Sam Blease, yeah.
Well, Stephanie's just done one.
Stefan's doing all right, actually. He had a bit of a tough time in that first race with getting some damage and getting lifted out of a corner. But he's never been one to be too shy. What's going on here? Up and over the hill we go.
You know, different car for Stefan, and this is Andy with Jamie.
That was Jamie passing Andrew Littler.
So, while these two are having a little... This is all good for my team captain, Carl, who is making hay while the sun shines.
Yeah, his last lap was almost identical to the last lap of these guys. Maybe a touch slower, but nothing really in it.
If you can stay in the same 10th, I think that's a good sign, isn't it? Now, we know that Carl sometimes isn't the best pit stopper, so that's the only thing I'm a bit worried about.
Ah, okay. Is it the pies? Is it the pie stand?
He gets very easily distracted by the smell of onions.
Oh dear, that's funny. So we're going to stay with this battle because at some point one of these two has got to blink and go to pit road, and I'm intrigued as to where they're going to pop out, given the fact that they were running with the super fast earlier, Sam Blease and Miguel and David. It'll be interesting to see, have they gained time or are they losing time? Miguel has just done a 127.02. These guys are doing 127.4 and 0.3.
I'm just phoning Tom Baker up to find out.
Excellent. Yeah, do it.
He says they've gained time.
Excellent.
And as the Time Lord, he would know, of course.
He would, yeah, definitely.
But, look at that. They all seem to be going very quickly and very close. I mean, the times seem very tight to me. It just shows you how tense can create gaps, doesn't it, over a series of laps, because there's very little between these guys, but we do see gaps form and lengthen.
But then they're all racing again by the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an incremental process. It's
So, just over halfway through, Austin Knight has just come out ahead of Fiona, Jamie Wilson et al. We've still owed pit stops from the front four. Carl Hardy is nearly. You're right. He's absolutely running away now from these two. Jason Landry has just overtaken Alex Sevillano just a few corners before this. I was too busy watching Austin in the pits and wondering where he was going to pop back out to give me some idea of where these ones were going to come out.
Oh,
what a lovely overtake!
How did he get it stopped? How did he get that stopped?
I didn't see the anchor come out of the back of the car, but it must have been there.
And it's one of those that comes down, drops down, and puts a crowbar into the earth and drags it along.
Yeah.
My God, how did he get that slowed down? That was fantastic.
It's
Oh,
just
there you go.
crackers.
That's how you get 7 million points.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Absolutely awesome. And here's
Right.
Miguel in the purple. Isn't this awesome?
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, he's well down the field. He's got David in front of him. And
And he's got David and Sam who've pitted in front of him now. I mean, that slowdown was epic that he had to burn off. It's kind of refreshing to see that the incumbent champion isn't getting it his own way, if that makes sense.
no, well, he's having to work for it. And I mean,
he'll like that though, right?
He will absolutely be loving it. And if I got any fears about him not getting a competitive race and getting bored, well, I'm glad that they've been put to rest, because he's not getting bored at all out there, let me tell you.
No, definitely not.
This is fantastic driving by everybody, and you've got to perform if you're going to stay with the likes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And you know, this is a sterling performance by Carl Hardy to actually be leading a field of this quality. Fantastic performance by him.
Yeah, I can't do anything to argue against that. He's been clean and very professional. His lap times have been so consistent. I hope he pops out after his pit stop in somewhere like a podium place. He deserves it, doesn't he?
He certainly does. He's doing an absolute Brahmin drive. But other people are doing great drives as well, which is fantastic for us.
Yeah. And David Johansen put up the fastest lap of the race last time round at 1:26.997. And Miguel has snapped straight back a 1:26.933. Unreal.
Head to head, these two, aren't they? It's fantastic. I mean, great drivers, but they compete, and they compete like gentlemen. Fantastic driving.
Yeah, I think Miguel is steadily closing, but I don't think steadily is good enough if he wants to get like. Well, we don't know where Carl Hardy's going to pop out. I mean, those are super fast laps that these guys are turning. So I don't know whether. Oh, hang on. Oh, these. Oh, crikey, blimey! Alex nearly drove into the back of Jason Landry's car there, as Jason got down well below the pit lane entry speed. And that's odd. Alex shouldn't be taking tyres.
Oh.
Has he left tyres checked? Oh, he's going to be raging.
Ag.
Oh, he's going to be absolutely furious. Where's Jason Landry coming out?
This is going to cost him.
It's going to cost him the best part of 40 odd seconds, I would say.
Oh, dear me. Well, that's terribly unfortunate. Is he out yet?
No. Oh, just.
Oh, it's coming.
I think he's going to be raging because he was right in the thick of everything. That was such a good race for him. He's just lost 18 seconds.
You're right.
And now his tyres are going to feel awful.
Yeah, and he was. Still, he'll have good tyres at the end of the race. There's still, half an hour to go. Well, 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's got Jamie Wilson. Is that 4? No, 11 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, it's a big gap, and
it is.
That's a big letdown for him, isn't it?
I think so. Lessons for next time is turn that check button off, or get crew chief to do it for you. At the front, meanwhile, Carl Hardy. How long does a pit stop take? Right.
I think it depends who's doing it.
Yeah, well, it's Carl Hardy that's going to be doing it. He's the only one that's not paid. Oh, no, he's not. Stefan's not giving us a visit either. And Stefan's notorious for going long with his runs. Right, so Matt Flannery closing in on Alex Slado now. Both Hydro Race sponsored cars, different teams. I thought we might get an Alex Lado podium or something at one point because he was so rapid, keeping pace with someone like Jason Landry, who's done some fantastic laps himself. He's not lit up the fastest lap screen too much. He's leaving that to the two cars ahead of him at the minute, which is David Johansson and Miguel Freitas, as our race leader enters pit road. Now, let's hope he doesn't pop up on the jacks because we don't want tyres.
Running out of things to cross here.
Yeah. Right, no, he didn't pop up. Right, let's see where Carl pops out after his pit stop. Miguel Freitas is closing in on David Johansson. The gap is slowly closing down. He was 0.2 faster. Where is Carl?
He's going to go out.
Oh, he's out in front of these guys. Oh, gosh, that was close. Is he going to fight him?
Ooh.
Right, he needs to drop in here. There we go.
Yeah.
Right, he's in the tow now.
He'll try and hold on to that, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's taken the defensive line into Ireland. Ooh. You can't get any closer than that. You can't. Not without having to say some vows.
Okay, that was good driving.
Yeah.
I mean, that was hard defending, but perfectly done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who is this Carl Hardy fella? How did he get such a massive lead? Right, so Miguel makes his intentions fully known to Carl Hardy, but will Carl even care? Oh, yeah, he did. He just wants to keep it clean, I think. Can he snap back? He's having a look. He's certainly shown himself in Miguel's mirrors.
Yes, and it won't hurt just to be behind him for a bit either way.
No, not at all.
He'll, I mean, if he can get... I mean, he's in a guaranteed podium, surely. The way they're going to go, aren't they? Sweep past everybody and take him into third place?
No, I don't think so. He's effectively fourth. Stefan is our race leader. He's still not visited pit road. He's got a 10-second lead over Sam Blees, who's over here on the other side of the track. David Johansson's behind him. Miguel Freitas, you can see, and Carl. These four cars, because Jason Landry's on it now. This is what we were saying before, Alan. Some gaps do form in this field from time to time, but by the time we get to the end of the race, they're all crawling all over one another.
Yeah, just comes back together.
Yeah. So, Stefan.
You know, the lap times are incredibly tight.
Yeah.
Consistently incredibly tight, so...
I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with Stefan's pace. He's absolutely on it straight away in this Civic. I've never seen him drive the Civic before. This is really impressive.
No, I haven't ever seen him drive it, and it doesn't surprise me that it'd be good, because I bet he will have tested.
Yeah, without a doubt. Right, here we go. So, Sam Blees assumes the lead of the race. You can see Stefan there. He'll got points for leading laps there. Whoops. Clicked on the wrong dude.
He's got 3 seconds, has he?
Yes. 3.2 seconds is his lead at the moment. Over David Johansson in second. Miguel Freitas, third step of the podium. But he's not going to get it all his own way, I don't think, because Carl Hardy and Jason Landry are not far behind. And then in sixth place, some way back, albeit, is Austin Knight.
Yeah,
much
great
improved
by him.
Yeah, much improved from that first race. Excellent. Stefan's come out behind him.
I think to run in sixth place in this field as your fair enough position, I think, with your lap times and everything, I think that's anybody's got to be pleased with that, haven't they?
Oh, definitely.
A top 10, a firm top 10 in this, on a grid like this.
Yeah.
God, I'd be thrilled. So yeah, chuffed to my friend Austin, who's been, he gave me my first ever Discord link. He did.
Really? Right, okay.
Yeah. That's how long we go back.
Yeah.
Wolfpack Esports. I've still got it probably for sentimental reasons.
Yeah, you need to keep those sort of things. Ooh, hang on, this is a bit tasty. This is
Whoa!
Miguel. All of a sudden, on David Johansen.
Well,
And David's not letting him have it. This is a fight. This is proper fight.
David always fights. He's a competitor to the core of his bones, but we know what a consummate overtaker Miguel Freitas is.
Yes. But David's going to get a good run here, and it's going to be very effective. He'll get at least half a car alongside. He's on the wrong side, but if he does a cutback...
You gotta love this. Come on, guys.
Oh, look at that, and it's just stacking them up behind Miguel now.
Well, this is very nice. This is lighting up Cole's pie face.
Yeah.
He'll be thinking, crikey.
Carl Hardy, I think he's the king of fourth place, isn't he, Carl Hardy? He finishes there a lot over the years. Sam Blease is just away to the races. He's gone.
Well, this is working out very nicely for Sam, isn't it? Because these are having a great almighty scrap here, and, Sam's away with the mixer, like you say. He's been very happy for them to be, because, Miguel's having to defend hard against somebody who's very, very eager to go past him.
Yeah.
And have got the racing chops to actually make it stick if he gets a chance. So, yeah.
So this will be race positions reversed from the first race, with David Johansen getting himself 2 third places if it stays as it is right now. Although Jason Landry does look still very racing. There's still at least 2, maybe, well, no, it'll be 2 laps. No, it might be 3 laps to go. So this is not done by any means. Carl got a bit wide at the bottom of Cascades.
Carl's under a lot of pressure from this guy. David's got a huge high racing advantage over Carl. He's clearly, very classy driver. So, and he's got the laps to actually size the car up and maybe put a pass on him. I wouldn't be surprised. Against a determined overtaker, doesn't matter how good you are, he's going to get past if he's got the pace. If he's got the chops to do it, you can't defend.
No, not at all.
See it time and again, you think somebody's great and they've got pace and everything, but the great overtakers just manage to pull that extra something out, don't they? Just out of nowhere, they find something and a gap appears in front of them and they just slot into it.
Yep. They're annoying like that.
So, Carl has got his work cut out.
Yes.
He's trying to keep up with the guys in front because, he deserves to. He's put in a fantastic drive. But he's got all eyes behind him because he knows he's got his hands full at the rear.
Yeah, I mean, Jason looks like he's just working him out at the moment. He's not even had a look yet. Oh, now he does. Now he does. Oh, good grief.
Now what's going to happen?
Yeah, that was unbelievably close. Carl just kept to his line, and Jason nearly made contact, but so good on the brakes, he didn't actually touch him.
Let's hope we don't get a net code.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we know he gets bullish when we have these close driving, and we get nothing but close driving with these guys. So
yeah, we saw one in the first race, definitely. Was it Stefan that got...
it was a massive one, wasn't it?
It was just huge. It was 2 of them, yeah. It was like a double tap. So these guys have separated a little because of that now, that braking exercise. Alex is closed in on Matt Flannery quite significantly now. Jamie Wilson in a little world all of his own. He's got that much gap in front of him and 13 seconds behind him. And Alex Lado is one with the car in front nearly there.
Oh,
so that's going to carry on brewing.
Accurate lap by Miguel.
Hey. Oh, God. What? A 126.685. Why wasn't he doing that for the other however many
I
laps?
remember. Don't you remember him doing this at the end of last season?
Oh, white flag.
He just whacked this huge fastest lap out of about half a second out of nowhere. It was just uncanny. He's just done it again. Oh, fantastic pace. Look at the gap he's created out of nowhere.
I know. What is that about? I think we need to put in the rules that you're not allowed to have railway wheels and have tracks to follow, because he's clearly got that going on.
He's got secret magnets underneath, do you reckon?
I reckon there's nothing secret about it. It's there for you to see on the screen. Unbelievable. As Sam Blease takes Lodge for the last time, soon to be Dear Leap for the last time, and gets himself a race victory here at Oulton Park.
Yes. Well done, Sam.
Yeah.
Well done indeed, Sam.
Carl Hardy held off Jason Landry there at the very end. That was a very hard fought set of positions, and this one's raging right to the very death.
Goodness. Surely everybody's got to be happy tonight. They must be worn out.
Up and over the rise. Can he do anything about him? No.
No.
He's enjoyed it, though. He's enjoyed it. You can tell as he goes drifting round Old Hall Corner.
They're going to be worn out, Pete, because there's no rest on this circuit, and
no.
They've been at it non-stop now for an hour.
I know, it's just crazy. Crazy amounts of pace.
That was a fantastic race.
So good. Here comes Fee.
Come on, girl. Yeah.
There we go. Nice racing. And then Andy Littler, who gave us an absolutely brilliant start to the race.
He did.
What a launch he got as well. He was showing the others how to do it. Fantastic work. Good effort.
Well done, Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, stonking race. Really a stonking race, Pete. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I love this track, but honestly, the guys have put on such a feast for us tonight.
I know. If that doesn't get other people interested, then I don't know what will.
Magic.
So, let's have a little look. Can we get any kind of results up yet? It sometimes has a bit of a problem. But not this time. So,
yay!
Sam Blease takes the honours in round 2 here at Oulton Park Island Circuit for Hydro Race Jurassic Racing. Miguel Freitas gets the second place. Very hard fought second place for Impulse Racing. David Johansson finished third again for Sim Racing Grid. Those will be good points he's bagged and banked. Carl Hardy, a much better outing in this second race and brilliant time in the front there. Fourth place for Safeguard by Result and probably a clean race. Fifth was Jason Landry for Impulse Racing. Austin Knight finished 6th for Hydro Race Racing Forces. That's a good result. As is 7th for Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports. Jamie Wilson finished 8th for Team Chimera. Matt Flannery was 9th for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. Alex Sebelano-Lado finished 10th for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Fiona finished 11th for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield. And Andrew Littler came home 12th, but gave us some of the most exciting racing for a while for Spiro by Result. So, good grief. Pete needs a rest. What did you make of that?
You had a tough old start to the evening, Pete, to be honest. Talk about under pressure, mate.
I know. To have no sound at all at the start of a broadcast, that's pretty shocking.
That was pretty awful. I felt for you, but...
it was only about 10 minutes before I was speaking to Jamie Wilson, and then I was speaking to you and everything, and then everything just cut out. Such a shock.
How you found out it was drivers and managed to work that out and fix that is beyond me. It was fantastic. You did very, very well. Anyway, what a race. Two races tonight. And, as usual, the first one flew by, but very exciting, and the second one was, I think, an absolute pearl of a race.
Yeah, that second one was just. It was brilliant and hilarious in equal measure, to be honest. Right, let's. Oh no, let's not do that because I don't know what I've just done. Right, right, move that over there.
Also had this great reverse grid with Andy and Fee at the front.
Yeah.
And it was a big shake-up, because the impulse guys were well to the rear,
Mhm.
and there was a lot of pace right at the back. They were going to have to come through the field on a track that's very hard to overtake on.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not easy around Oulton Park to do overtaking. However, someone who does a lot of overtaking is Miguel Freitas. Good evening.
Good evening.
So you started your title defence in epic fashion. You got yourself a pole position and then did a flag to flag race. Lots and lots of pressure from Sam Blees at the start of that first race. He's super quick in that Elantra, isn't he?
Yeah, he upgraded his car, and I'm using a 1-year-old car this season again. But no, he has, since last season, on the first few laps, he has the gift to warm up his tires really fast, and I just struggle in the first 2-3 laps battling him because I have no grip, and he can really attack me.
Right. Okay. And how do you feel about sporting the number one? Does it feel good?
Yeah, it feels really good. I like it.
You don't want to give it up, do you? So, race 2 happened, and you were right at the back. It was a 12-car grid on a reverse 12 field, and you had it all to do. I think you were very, very patient. Your teammate was in front of you for a good amount of time, Jason, and my God, is he fast. I don't know whether he got any damage from that little concertina shunt that happened at Island Bend, but it didn't show in his lap times. Where the hell did you find him?
Yeah, Jason has been with us for a while, but he was just taking a little bit of a break from sim racing to dedicate himself to other projects. And now he's back and he's already as fast as me, so it will be a challenge for sure.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a bit of a problem for you and for Sam Blees. And David Johansson, God, he's rapid. You had a bit of trouble getting past him, but you managed it in the end. I don't think this is, even though there's like much fewer drivers at the minute. We do know that there's others joining later in the season, but I don't think you're going to get it all your own way this time, are you?
No, it was a small field, but a very competitive field. It was not easy to overtake on the second race. The track doesn't help, but still people were driving really fast. And we saw Carl Hardy on the second race going in the front and then getting out of the pits in P2 or P3, we had to fight him again. So yeah, it's looking like a great season.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw something rare. It's a bit like spotting a golden eagle soaring down off a mountain. We saw you make a mistake.
Yeah. Sam's car is too big and was blocking my view on the road, and I forgot that there was a chicane there.
That's
so yeah,
brilliant.
I missed the braking point and just had a huge slowdown.
Yeah, I was just like, what's happened there? And that slowdown, because obviously I'm a rubbish driver, so I've done that slowdown a few times. It's massive, isn't it? It's just it's so much punishment. You don't deserve any of it, really. But yeah, again, stunning racing, and what a great return to your title defence. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and get some practice in for the next round? Because I think you're going to need it this season.
Yeah. Thank everyone at the Impulse and everyone that was racing today that showed up. It's really nice, and everyone making this happen. So yeah, until the next one.
Awesome stuff. And our resident champion, Miguel Freitas, everybody.
Yeah, very well done.
Thank you.
I love watching him race.
It's
He's
brilliant,
a
isn't
fantastic
it?
driver, isn't he? Yeah,
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you can't enjoy watching me go Freightos racing. You're doing the wrong thing, really.
Too right. I think the whole field has turned up in the booth.
Great. Invite them all in.
Yeah,
Come
too
do
right.
them, please.
So, second into the booth for our entertainment, Alan, is Sam Blease. Good evening.
Evening, guys.
Evening. So, well, race one, and Miguel did what Miguel does. Poled it and won it. You gave him such a good run, though, for at least 9/10 of that race. It was only in the last few, last lap, really, that he managed to put in a stonker and got a gap on you properly. You're super fast in that Elantra. What the hell's going on there?
Yeah, I'm definitely better in the Elantra than I ever got in the Veloster. Yeah, I was definitely quicker than him for about the first, I'd say 9 laps. I had more pace. I just couldn't go anywhere. He was just putting the car in the right place and defending really well. And then I started to drop off a bit, and I started to make I was trying too hard, basically overdriving the car and making too many mistakes. And I think his car got better, and mine just plateaued a little bit towards the end of that race. So he fair play to him. He did exactly what he needed to do. But I was so close, like 2 or 3 times in the first few laps. To getting it done, I got alongside him a couple of times. It was really good fun, actually. It was really good racing. Yeah. Nice racing with him. And nice to see obviously the guys behind, David and
Jason.
Jason, thank you. David and Jason keeping up and having their own battle as well. So it was a good fun race.
Yeah,
a couple of times last season, race 1 was a little bit processional, and although we started in the same position we finished, it really wasn't this time.
No, it wasn't. No, and just for the folks at home, there is no David Jason. There is a David and Jason. David Jason is somebody else.
I imagine not as quick as either David or Jason.
No, definitely not. No,
not at his age.
A bit more witty though, maybe.
Maybe funnier. Maybe he should come in the booth.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be class.
Not that there's anything wrong with you guys, obviously.
Well, don't know about that, but never mind. We'll talk about that later. And then race 2 happened, and you find yourself on the back row because there was only 12 cars, but 12 cars in a reverse grid gives us some absolutely fantastic racing. And good grief, I didn't know whether to... I said at one point, I don't think Sam knows whether to swing or sway, because you had cars everywhere around you. There was nowhere for you to go, and you had loads of pace, and you just had to check up. I think you were coming down towards Cascades. I mean, that was crazy, right?
Yeah, it was madness. It was close to 3 wide, and it's... testament to everybody that there wasn't a major collision. There wasn't a big incident coming out of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first... I've just been rewatching it on my screen. The first 4 or 5 laps were nuts. Yeah. And then I got in an impulse sandwich, or I was the meat in an impulse sandwich at the hairpin, and I got 4x from that.
You did.
And the car felt okay.
But on our screens, you'd completely lost your front bumper, and Jason's car had a lot of damage on the rear, whether it affected him or not. But usually these TCR cars, they don't react well to front end damage, do they?
No, well, the thing that happened for me was something... So it felt fine after that, but then I had a second bit of contact, only a 0x with Jason, coming out of the hairpin, out of the chicane, and my car, spat sideways, and then it was immediately really slow. What? So for ages, I just had no straight line speed at all, and Miguel and Jason got, a second and a half up the road from me, and I heard a scraping noise. It was like my splitter was dragging on the floor or something like that.
Right.
And just looking at it now, it was lap 4 coming out the chicane. Just looking at it now, it looks like I don't know, there was definitely a 0x, but it looked almost like the curb grabbed the splitter or something.
Right, okay. Well,
and then
we've seen that on other tracks with the V8s, where the scenery breaks your car. As if the other cars on track aren't bad enough. The scenery gets you as well.
Well, it was short-lived-ish, because there was this dragging noise then for the next half a lap. And I was like, I really need to pit, but it's too early.
Yeah.
And then I went through, I think, the first corner, and it just went away. And the car was fine again. So it felt like it was dragging along the floor, and then it ripped off, and then it was okay. But I pitted the next lap anyway to get it repaired.
Is that even a thing in iRacing physics? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think it is.
But then I had that cone stuck under the car at
you did, yeah.
Nürburgring last season. So I wonder if something like there obviously is some physics for something stuck under the car.
Yeah.
So I wonder if something like that happened and it came out. But I pitted the next lap anyway, which was a little bit early. I was having to manage the fuel the whole way, but I knew with clear air I had decent pace. The car felt good. And then, when Miguel came out nearly alongside me, I had to make quite an aggressive move to get ahead of him.
Uh-huh.
And then, from there on, it was just managing the fuel, making sure I had enough to get there. And we were literally 3 seconds from an extra lap, which I wouldn't have been able to do. So I was trying to manage that a little bit right at the end.
Well, you managed it perfectly well.
Just about.
Yeah, you can see it on the broadcast at the minute. There's just cars everywhere around you. What a great performance. And you've started off in perfect fashion. I don't know about how the incidents might affect your points, but
there are quite a lot of those.
It's Oulton Park, it comes with the territory.
Yeah. I think it was 10 in each race or something. But
right, okay. Well, let's see where that brings you out, because you'll be wanting that title back, I'm pretty sure. So, and you've done a great job in starting that. Anybody you want to have a shout out to before we let you go?
I'd like to say, well done to Carl. He had a cracking second race. His pace was excellent, and he came out in third after the stops on pure merit and pace. That was just Carl's pace, so that was excellent to see, and good to have him back racing. Thanks to all of you guys, so Jason and Austin, and I think it's Alex, but he's showing a 7 on my screen for some reason.
Yeah, he does that, yeah.
And all the returning people, and Austin as well, and the returning guys, and Stefan and Andrew Littler and stuff. And I'd like to say as well, Littler and Fiona today, much, much closer to the pace than I've seen them be, either of them.
As we observed as well, absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent to see. And, we always say it's you get faster in this league, and it just is true. So it's good to have everyone here. Shame there was only 12 of us tonight, but I know there's a few more sign-ups, so hopefully next week it'll be a more full grid, and maybe we can attract a few new faces as well.
Absolutely.
And obviously, thanks as always to you guys for putting it on. Always good to have somewhere to come and race.
Cool stuff. And we look forward to watching you race every week. Our previous champion before Miguel, Sam Blees, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, well done, Sam.
Thanks.
It's been a fantastic race. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Who shall we get next? Where's David?
Righty. Look at all these people.
I know that it's like a queue at the supermarket, this one. And good evening to David Johansson.
Hello. Hello.
Hey. Well, consistency. That was three consistent words, and you finished third twice. So.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I was pretty with that consistent. I did too many small mistakes. I could even won the feature, maybe at least P2.
Really?
So, on lap 4 or 5 in the feature, I hit the tires in the chicane.
We missed that. We didn't see it.
Yeah. That bet my steering. I was like second a lap slower for 6 laps before I could pit.
Well, I did wonder why Miguel was gaining on you so much, so that explains that then. Okay, let's talk about the first race first. It was a bit of a third place to third place affair. The two
fourth place.
Fourth place. Fourth. Sorry, you got one immediately, didn't you? Yeah. Tough customer. But you kept your third place right to the end, watching the two in front of you scrapping for a while. You stood on the sidelines and watched last season, so you know what Miguel is all about. But it definitely looks like you have it in your locker that you've got the lap times, you've got the control, you've definitely got the consistency to be challenging for this title.
Maybe, yeah. It's just the first time I'm in the Veloster too. I've done a fair time of practice before this, but otherwise than that, I haven't been in the Veloster before, just the Elantra, so it's also a new experience, and around here it works great for me at least.
Yeah, I mean, how does it work for you? Do you find it very, very different from the Elantra? A lot of people do.
Not that different. I drive it kind of the same. It suits me at least. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, you certainly can drive it. You can certainly drive it, my friend. You've done a fantastic sparkling drive tonight.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, I know you're maybe not delighted, but you actually in the shot all the time in this dream.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy with 2 P3s since the first race they were just a bit too quick, and the second race I would just when I got that damage I was like, oh shit, this is over. But yeah, still managed to grab a P3 at least.
Yeah, you shouldn't be downhearted about 2 podiums. Good grief. And yeah, you were in the middle of all of the thick of it for both of those races, and so entertaining to watch. It's great to have you back racing with us. Anybody you'd like to have a shout? Great stuff. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and practice for the next one?
Yeah, well, everybody up front racing, Miguel, Sam, and what's he called? Jason?
Yeah,
Jason,
he's quick, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quick too.
But the rest of the field all finished behind you tonight, so that proves how fast you are in this Veloster. And I think once you get to grips with whatever differences there are between that and the Elantra, you're going to be unstoppable. Great to have you racing with us again, David. And
great to be back.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward now to next week, regardless of how many drivers we get, because that was brilliant. Great racing tonight, everybody. David Johansson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great guy, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Right then, who shall we pick on next?
Oh, crikey!
We don't have Jason. Have we got Carl? No, we don't have Carl. I thought he would turn up. He's had such a good race. Let's talk to somebody that you know from times past. Good evening to Austin Knight.
Well, howdy.
Howdy.
How are y'all doing?
Oh, matey. Great to see you.
Yeah,
it's good seeing you too.
Yeah.
Awesome
and
stuff.
Doing so well out there as well. Goodness me, talk about slotting in and fitting right in. Mind you, we're used to this fantastic livery. We had a good dose with Freddie and last season, you know. And yeah, we're used to seeing that. But yeah, you did well tonight, matey.
Thank you. I've always enjoyed the touring cars, and well, when the Hydro Race Racing Forces said, hey, we see that you're not happy with the current team that you're on. We are looking for Clio drivers, and I've been mating that. And they just invited me to hop on here, and it's been an entire change of pace, and I've been extremely happy to be on board with them here today.
Awesome. And talk us through race 1 first. You qualified really well, but you had an impromptu visit to the pits.
Yes, I had an impromptu visit to my rear end as well.
Right,
they're going to buy. Hopefully, they're buying me dinner after this. I'm not sure. Might have to talk to them about that.
That's class. Oh dear. And then yeah, so you brought it home in 10th. Yeah, 10th in the first race, and in the second race, you got well stuck in. You were right in the middle of everything. It was you were running with your teammate for a little while before you pulled the plug on Alex, I think, yeah, it was such an exciting race. How long have you been driving the TCR for?
I've been driving the TCR since the Audi came out. I've been on and off through there. I've been racing in mostly American leagues, which is really hard to come by. So I've been focusing on this car for a while, but I have been having to take breaks because I couldn't find anything in America to race on there. But you know, the timing was just right to race these cars with y'all, and it was so much fun. And yeah, I was definitely getting stuck in there. I was like the meat inside of a tortilla at that point.
Yeah.
Throughout the second race, I was on the inside, I was on the outside, I was in the middle, I was all over the place. And you know what? I am sweating, and it is 3 p.m. right now, and I'm having a good time.
Good stuff. it's great watching you race. Actually, you fit in very, very well. You seem very, very safe in the car as well. The car is completely under control with you. We've had visitors to the league before who are a bit more sketchy on their first races. So hopefully you can get some more races under your belt and learn the ins and outs of this car. The series is aligned to the officials. Are you going to be doing any officials alongside it?
Now that I know what that is, yes. This entire skill that I have with the car is all, I would say, all up to the Clio, which everybody on iRacing should buy. By the way, it's an amazing tool.
Yeah, we're going to be running a Clio League in BSTV for the second season of it in the not too distant future. Once Clyde gets some time to finish organising it, so you're obviously more than welcome to join all of our leagues. And we run V8s on every other Saturday as well. I don't know what you feel about rear-wheel drive cars.
They're a bit crazy, but as a Mustang driver in the Mustang leagues, they are very enjoyable. I'm the PCC community rep, so I have experience in a lot of the slower driving cars, and my main focus is with Clios and Mustangs right now, and just organizing community events with all those guys.
Oh, well done, and much respect to you for doing that. I know all too well how difficult it can be, and controversial and contentious, organising and running a league or a community. We run a league, a community, and a broadcasting company in BSTV, so absolute respect to you for that, and respect to your driving tonight, because you've done extremely well. Anybody you want to have a shout out to before Alan speaks to you a bit more, because I'm sure he will do.
Well, first I want to thank everybody at home for letting me do this and just supporting me around here, and everybody at Hydra Race Racing Forces, Alex for bringing me on, Kenzie for making that place just really welcome. Phil from last night in the American Muscle Series, we had a good turnout in that race, another top 10 for us, and all my friends who were texting me throughout the race on my phone.
Right, yeah, because that's not distracting at all, is it? You know.
They texted me after the race.
Okay.
In the break, I said, "Hey, hey, it's in the middle." I sent them the link, and they were watching. So usually I don't have friends who watches the race, but they were bored today, so I guess they wanted to tune in.
Brilliant stuff. Did we get any of them? Was one called Lots?
I think you did in their chat, though I have no idea what their username is.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, you might not. It happens.
Yeah, we'll track them down for next time. Don't worry about it. But fantastic racing tonight. Thoroughly entertained. We'll let you go and start practicing maybe for the next race.
Actually trying. Okay.
Austin Knight, everybody. Great racer.
Oh, so grand.
Yeah, if I could flush people faster tonight, if I was on it, then I'd be a lot happier. Right, next into the booth. Who shall we pick on next?
Oh, crikey, I don't know. We're not running out.
We're not running out. It's like an everlasting queue of people to interview. My saviour for tonight is in the booth. Jamie Wilson, good evening.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. There would have been no paints on any cars tonight if it hadn't been for you. So many thanks for your IT
Invoice
support.
in the post.
As always. And yeah, that Chimera liveried Veloster was pretty rapid tonight. First race you finished fifth. Nice healthy top 5 there. Second race was an 8th. Talk us through the first race first, obviously. You seem to be nice and competitive in it. Have you driven the Veloster before?
No.
At all?
Maybe when it came out.
Right, okay, that's a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of lumped both of the Hyundais together because they have quite similar characteristics in some ways, particularly on the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, I just didn't like that
Right.
at all. I think driving the Elantra last season has kind of taken the edge off of how weird the Veloster is for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I had to be dragged backwards through a hedge in the Elantra in order to walk gently in the Veloster. Put it like that.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, I've sort of gone to the Veloster through a gradient of Hyundai-ness.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first race, Carl did an exit stage right at turn 2, which was just some free position, great. And then after that, I just sort of sat in the void, really. I couldn't catch the cars ahead. I was probably about half a second off of them. I think if we ran that race again after the second race, where I got more used to the car, I probably wouldn't be quite as far off. And so quickly I'm sort of learning to throw the car at the track. So
Right.
I thought, I needed oxygen being that high up.
Some good scraps and battles, especially in the second race. Good grief, that was an intense start to a race.
It was, wasn't it?
What the hell? I mean, I've got the same statement for you and about 6 other cars. There was a point at which you had nowhere to go. You couldn't brake because there was a car basically pushing you down the track. There was left and right were occupied, and there was nowhere forward to go. That was probably the most exciting start to a race I've ever broadcast, I think.
It was pretty mad, wasn't it? I mean, Simon was in my ear saying, it's like Argos to your collection point. Everyone's just queuing up. I had 2 major things that kind of buggered me up in that race. The first was I'd kind of pit moved myself in Lodge. It might have been off
I saw
Austin
that.
Night. They were all queuing up on the right, and I had a huge run down the outside on the brakes. I seem to be pretty good on the brakes already somehow. Mm-hmm. That'll wear off. I turned in, and I just wasn't. I just side contact into it. It just knocked me sideways a bit. No damage or anything, but it just put me on the grass, and I just got absolutely freight trained out there.
Yeah, we
but
saw that.
Self-inflicted, so fair enough. And then the second one was much more embarrassing, because I stalled it coming out of the pits like a knob.
What? We watched you come out of the pits.
Yeah, you must have missed that bit because I literally, as the lollipop went up or whatever, it just went. No. And it took, I needed to shovel coal into it to get it to fire again. It took forever.
That'll teach you to have such realism in a simulator.
Yeah, no auto clutch for me. That's the one thing I hadn't really. I did a practice pit entry in practice. I did a practice start at one point. It's basically the same as the Elantra, so I wasn't worried about that. But the one thing I didn't do was an aggressive start out of the pit box.
Right. My opinion only, and as you know, I'm a terrible racer, but of the 4 cars, the Veloster is the mightiest on the brakes, I would say. You can leave it a week later than you think you can, and you can still make the corners. It's very forgiving on the brakes.
To a point, because the ABS is that much more aggressive on it.
Yeah, the ABS is good, yeah.
if you get into that ABS, and the car's just basically trying to have a fight with itself in terms of what's the axle doing? Who knows? You end up in just like twisting the car apart. If you end up in that situation, you can. It doesn't. Locking up isn't a good description, obviously by definition it's ABS, but you kind of sink into the ABS and it kind of pushes you forward. It gives you this understeer, so you have to be on the edge of that without triggering it. Whereas on the Honda, I think the Honda actually has the better brakes.
Ah, okay.
If you can match it up with the technique.
Right.
That's the if. Because on that I could absolutely stand on those, and it would stop on a sixpence.
Right. Okay. Now we know how Miguel's doing it. But yeah, very entertaining, and big hats off to you for helping me with the minutes to go before the broadcast. After you'd left me, and I joined Alan in the chat, all of my sound stopped.
Oh, nice.
Thanks to an update which on Windows 11 enacted unprompted. And it rendered all my sound drivers redundant until I updated those. So
that'll do it.
Very special moment.
There is a setting for that's enabled by default that's buried, and it needs a big F off button to turn it off.
Yeah. If that had happened mid broadcast, I'd have been screwed. So thankfully it happened minutes before. But we were late to the broadcast slightly. But thank you for your help, because that was invaluable.
That's all right. No worries.
So we'll let you go and start your practice in your Veloster, which doesn't sound like you're too unhappy with. It could do you well this season. Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you disappear?
Yeah, whoever put the official schedule together for putting Oulton Ireland on it in the first place and putting it first. I wonder if I'm flattered by that this week, because this is a track I like a lot. So, mind you, the next one is Indy Road, I think, which is a track I like a lot. So,
oh, good, right, okay.
Great, isn't it?
That's in the knockout category for me. I really like that track. I don't know
nice.
why. It's always been one I've been pretty good at. Famous last words. And I won't be practicing in that because it's Bathurst on Saturday.
Oh,
so.
Of course it is, yeah.
Goodness. Is it really? Oh,
it is, yeah. I've got to have a different argument with a car around there.
Yeah, with a spooled rear differential that's going to absolutely mully you at every corner.
Yeah. Thanks to you guys for giving me the commentator's curse, apparently. I through the grapevine you were bigging me up or something, or setting me up to fail, and that's before I stalled in the pit, so thanks a lot.
No problem, anytime. That's what we do best.
And yeah, thanks to everyone that turned up. And also we got a bunch of, I know it's the participation, we got a bunch of people taking breaks and stuff, but we also have a few new people, and they're all integrating well into the group. So yeah, looking forward to further battles with those as we go through the season.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
We look forward to watching you again next week, and on Saturday, of course. Jamie Wilson.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Nice one, Jamie.
Cool. Right, excuse me. Who have we not spoken to? We've not spoken to Alex. Let's get Alex in next. So Alex Savillano Ledo, good evening.
Hey, hello.
Hello. I've got to find you on track. Just a minute. There we go. Found you. Right. So first race, 6th place. Very respectable. Nice position. Got in the thick of it. We're running. Was it with David again? I can't remember. No, you were running with Jamie, weren't you? And Carl Hardy spat himself off the side of the track, I think it was, and had to do a recovery drive. But yeah, you've got some good pace in that car.
Whoa, yeah. It was good learning today, and yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I messed up the whole session. Wait, I forgot how to speak English. 1 second. The whole session. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I messed up the quali. I got all off tracks on my first attempt, and the second attempt, when I was heading for my last lap, I messed up turn 2. So
yeah, we saw that one. You got sideways.
Yeah. So that was my best chance. I actually had a lap where I improved 2 seconds prior to that. But I got an off track in the last turn on the inside, which is barely impossible to do. So annoying. Yeah, that was a bad start already. And then race 1, I forgot the fuel, so I just went out with full fuel, but it was still a good result. I was happy with that.
Well, you went out. And then
second race,
you went out with
I completely forgot. I was telling my teammate Austin, I was telling him like, yeah, this and that, like race strategy, blah, 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 don't forget the fuel. And then I came out full tank on the first race. And then second race, just before the pits, I was telling him, yeah, don't forget to check the tires off. Like, me, myself, 2 laps after telling that to Austin, I just go into the pits, completely forget to uncheck the tires, and I stood there for 24 seconds, I think.
We watched it.
We watched it painfully. I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
Because we were like...
Thanks for shaming me.
Why has his car popped up? You don't need tyres. What? And I bet your tyres felt like horrible compared to what you were on when you came out.
Terrible.
Yeah. So, well, lessons learned, and great advice to your teammate, even if you didn't follow them yourself.
Yeah, genius.
I can see you performing as a top 5 driver for the rest of this season, because there's certain little elements of your race tonight which I was wowed by, actually. Your car control is excellent. I think it's just the stuff that sits around it, like pit stops. But yeah, great racing. Anybody you'd like to shout out to before we let you go and practice for Indy Road?
Well, yeah, you guys, as usual. Well, Austin, it's very fun to do the races with him, and he recently joined the racing forces. So yeah, thank him, thank you. Hydro Race, great guys. NetLife and iRace. all the Racing Forces sponsors, and then my friends who watch, and my girlfriend, and everyone basically in the league. You're all great guys, and it's just fun to be back. And I was a bit distracted. I forgot to keep track of the activity. So recently found out the season was starting, so I couldn't prepare anything. But, it was busy days for me lately, so I'll just give that excuse away. And
That'll do. That'll do, because you drove beautifully tonight. It's great. It's great to see my friend Austin here with you, and I love seeing your livery out on the track, matey. And I'm looking forward to the whole season.
Us too.
Yeah, and thanks for signing up at such short notice. Whether real life distracts you or not, it's very, very much appreciated. Alex Lado, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night, mate.
Pushed him a bit too quick that time. I can't get it right, this. And then I think this is last in the booth, is Fiona Siddons. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so, wow. Where did you finish in the first of our races? 11th, and 11th in the second race. Consistency. And we and other people in the interviews tonight have commented on how much faster you seem to be in that Elantra this season. And we know, I think I know that you like Oulton Park, and you've clearly developed some good race strategy or racecraft, because you do seem to be a lot faster.
I think it's probably track specific. We'll find out next week.
Yeah, good, well said. But yeah, you seem a lot more in control of the car. You're right, it might just be the track. I know you like a lot of the British tracks, but you seem very much in control, very much on the pace. Alan was saying in the middle of the broadcast that you were turning laps pretty much equal to the cars in front of you for a good proportion of it. Really good racing tonight.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it tonight. It made it all the better having Darryl come and joined us.
Andy,
that's it, yeah. Andy come and joined us. He's roughly on my pace normally. I mean, tonight he jumped in and had a problem and didn't even get any practice. But it made it all the better having him in.
Yeah, I mean, if there was more people in the league, and I'd done a Pro and Am category this time, but with the amount of people that were sitting this season out and returning for the next one, I thought I'd just leave it as one big league again. But hopefully next time, as in season 15, we can do a Pro and Am, and that'll mean that you guys and some of the others who don't have that ridiculous speed of the guys at the top can actually have something to be going after. I think it's a worthwhile exercise. It's been asked for a few times, but last season would have probably been the more ideal one for it because we had quite a lot of races. But it is what it is. But yeah, you did really well. You weren't letting people get the better of you in terms of when they pitted and they were on the racing lap. You kept to your lines. You gave a good fight, a fair fight, and stayed out of the way when you saw it was a bit futile. Which is about mature racing, really, isn't it? Don't race for something that's going to end up with you in a wall, because there's no point.
No, especially now that got Andy in. I mean, I would normally last season I'd have fought harder than I did tonight with them, but with having Andy there, I didn't want to slow myself down than them because Andy would catch me. So it really makes you think about what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, you had some great racing tonight. Anybody you'd like to shout out to before we let you go and practice for Indy Road?
Yeah, you guys as always, and everybody who's give up the time to watch us tonight.
Well, you did great tonight, Pete. I've got to say, you were within a minute and under a minute with Miguel's times and finishing the races within a minute was fantastic, I think.
Yeah, over a 40-minute race. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic driving.
Yeah.
That's so consistent and reliable lapping, to do that. You should be well happy to do that, crikey. It takes some doing.
Yeah, I'm happy with tonight, Alan.
Yeah, you've done well, mate. Absolutely brilliant.
Right then. Excellent stuff. We will see you next time out at Oulton Park. We're at Oulton Park. At Indy Road.
Indy Road.
Yeah. Great.
We can come back here if you want.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to, yeah. In that case, we'll say goodnight to Fiona Siddons, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Pete. Indy Road.
Indy Road. It's going to be a good one. Indy Road's a nice track.
Yeah, it is.
Very technically challenging. Always high on my calendar of places to race. That's for certain. Right then, decisions.
I'm not looking forward to this.
I know. There's a couple that stand out for me. Yeah. I think David Johansen's done really well in his first race back in the car. I mean, how fast is he? Good God.
Yeah, fantastic.
Carl Hardy, now, that was exceptional racing. To get the lead in the first place, like a rat up a drain pipe, to eke out such a big lead, and then to bring it home in fourth, and he was nearly in third. I think that's brilliant. But then Andy Littler, in that second race, he was brilliant. Yes, he's not got the pace of some of the superfasts, but in terms of giving us entertaining racing, that's just brilliant. I think my vote. Austin did well in the first race, not so well in the second one. I mean, Carl didn't do very well in the first race, did he? He got ejected out the side of the race. I don't know. I'm gonna go David Johansen because his consistency, if I can choose the right car on the broadcast, his consistency was excellent and his pace was super rapid. I think it needs calling out that he's got 2 third places there, and he's given really hard, fair racing to the guys that we often see winning these races. So absolutely brilliant. I think he can win races this season and possibly challenge for the title. He just needs to get his lines a bit more clean, I think, by his own admission. So my vote's going to go David tonight.
I think that's a very fair shout, Pete. I mean, Dave's been what a great return to the league, and outstanding performance, and a very quick driver, very mature racer.
Yes, yeah,
and, always good to watch. I mean, to me, it's got to be between Andy and Carl because they're part of my team family, and I love the both of them, and they both absolutely thrilled me tonight. I'm absolutely thrilled for Andy, and I think I've got to give it to Carl because it filled me up the way he raced tonight, and I'm expecting Andy to do another one of those for me.
Yeah,
I'm expecting Andy to do another great drive so that I can give him a driver of the night, and I expect he will because Carl was fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen him race like that, and I've watched him do a lot of racing, and
he was so fast in that second race.
I think it was outstanding. Maybe he's just taking a step. I don't know, but I'm thrilled for him.
Yeah. It was a real clinic he put on. Once he got out front, he was turning laps faster than the rest of the field. So that brings us to the end of tonight's broadcast. I'd like to thank you, Alan, for joining me again for yet another season. Hopefully this will continue for forever. That'd be nice. I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in and was entertained by us, hopefully anyway. We've got Indy Road in a week's time. Before that, on Saturday, we've got V8 ESC action. It's an endurance round, I think, as well. If I click a few buttons, I'll be able to find that out. If you just bear with me, V8s and schedule, I'll find us at Sandown, of course it is, for a 2-hour endurance race this weekend. And yes, Indy Road next weekend. Thanks to all the racers that turned up, some of them at very short notice, some of them because they didn't realise where in the week they were, and others in order to increase the participation. Because there are a lot of people taking some time out, and some permanent time out actually in a couple of people's cases. But we are more enriched by those that have stayed with us for them being here. I'll say goodnight and let Alan say goodnight, and then we'll bring the broadcast to a close.
Good night, folks. Thank you, Pete, and well done tonight. You had a really hard start to the evening and pulled it off with your usual skill and finesse. And yeah, fantastic to be back, and great. Well, what a return to racing. Boy, did they turn it on tonight for us. Fantastic. See you next week.